Let's go. I added a plane, scaled it up by 10 times, and then I imported the Lamborghini 3D model into the scene. I found this model on Sketchfab. I will provide link to this 3D model in my description. I rotated the car a little bit on Z-axis and then added a camera into the scene. Adding the camera before building the scene can really help speeding up the process. Then I adjusted the camera according to the car. The ground plane was looking very small to me, so I scaled it even more. I subdivided the plane about 60 times to give it some extra geometry for editing. Now I will use proportional editing to make it uneven. Select the vertex, pull it up, and thanks to proportional editing, it will give you a nice, rounded shape. Do it multiple times until the edge of the plane hides. You can also add some more geometry to the plane, but I do not recommend subdividing too much. Now I will use an add-on called G-Scatter to add vegetation to the scene. Select the plane as emitter, and I will use this Life in Chamomile vegetation pack. It took about 3 to 4 minutes to load the assets, and then the thing happened that I was fearing of. Blender crashed. My progress was lost. To prevent this, I recommend you save the file first. I did it all again. This time, before adding the vegetation, I saved my Blender file, enabled the camera culling, and decreased the viewport visibility of assets to 20%. Then I tried to add the vegetation. Thankfully, this time the Blender didn't crash. But it was too slow in the viewport. So, I disabled the visibility of most of the assets. I decreased the vegetation density by 2 times, and then used weight paint to get rid of the extra vegetation which was not visible in the scene. I added a sunlight in the scene for some lighting and shadows. Then I rendered the scene, and this is what I got. Looks pretty good for now. The vegetation was looking too much dense to me, therefore I decreased it by 2 times again. It will also decrease the render time. This was the result after decreasing the vegetation. I tried to add some air in the scene by adding a little movement to the flowers, but it didn't really work because, of course, Blender crashed. Now, let's add a sky to our scene. I will use an HDRI to do it. You can find the link to the HDRI in description. I adjusted the HDR with the help of Mapping Node and then rendered the scene. This is what I got. I think this looks much better than before. The ground was still looking a bit off to me. So, I edited the ground again using proportional editing. My approach is to make little valley in the way. I also scaled it and adjusted its placement. I redid the weight paint because it got messed up because of scaling. Now this is what it looks like after rendering. I did some adjustments in weight paint again because I don't want the vegetation to grow in middle area, as I want the area to be seen as a way in the scene. I tried to render it, but of course this dumb thing crashed again. I am sorry, Blender, but please fix this. Well, I did it again, and these were the results. I found a beautiful tree model online and decided to add it in the scene. I placed it just near the car. Stick with me, and we will use this tree to add a story in this scene. Now it's time for the car. It looks perfectly new, but we need to make it old and abandoned for the scene. You'll probably be thinking that it will really be hard to do that, but trust me, it is one of the easiest things to do. I will start by appending principled car material into our file. Principled car material can be used to add realistic car materials to a car, with full control of things like orange peel, roughness, metallic. It has also got sliders for paint chippings, rust and dirt, which will save us hours of TD's node work. The link to it will be given in the description of the video. The product is available on the Blender Market and Gumroad, but you can also get it with my Patreon subscription. I have appended the material, but before applying this material to the car, I will delete all the empty that came with it. The car is packed with empties, and it can make a lot of confusion in the scene. Go to Filter section and uncheck all the things except the empties. This will make sure that only empties are visible in Outliner. Now select every part of the car or everything if you have not parented anything. Then press Alt plus P and choose Clear and Keep Transform. It will clear all the parents without disturbing any transformation. Now select all the empties from the outliner and delete them. Mark the boxes that we unchecked before to make everything visible. Now, select all the parts of car, move them to a separate collection called Car. Apply the car material to one part. Disable the other collection to focus on car. Now select one part with previous material, go to Select Panel, select Linked, and then choose Material. Now shift-select the panel with car material, press Ctrl plus L, and choose Link Materials. This will add material to all the panels. The car looks really nice in this material, as you can see. You can use it like this also, but I will make it look abandoned. This is what it will look like in render. To make the car look like it's really old, crashed multiple times and driven a lot, we need to disturb its straight lines. Didn't understand? You will get to know everything in a minute. Before that, I recommend you join wheel parts into one object and do it for all wheels. Now rotate this front wheel something like this to make it look like broken. Select this wing, go to Edit Mode and select all of its vertices. Now rotate it something like this. As you can see, the straight line is now disturbed and it looks like it's broken. You can do it for other parts also. I am going to make this mirror look broken next. To do that, I will select it and rotate it something like this. I will also add 2 wires to make it look like it's holding the mirror. Now, for extra detail, I will use sculpting to make dents in the car. Crease brush is really good at making dents. You can also use clay brush to make bigger dents, and I will speed up the video so you can get the reference. Also rotate this bumper a little bit. This will give illusion of crash. If you think that you have gone too far, you can always use smooth brush to smoothen the dents. I also did some adjustments in the ground. Now the best part, it's time to unleash the full power of principled car material. Go to Cycle's Render View, select a part of car, and slide this paint chipping slider. As you can see, we have got paint chippings on the car. I will add and empty in the scene and then select it in this texture coordinate node of our car material. This gives me some extra control. I will also add some rust and dirt by sliding these sliders. Now this is what our scene looks like. Everything looks good, but the wheels are too shiny. Let's make them dirty and rusty, just like car. I have already joined the wheel parts, and now I will apply the principled car material to the wheels also. Yes, we can use this material here too. I will change the color to white to make it metallic, and then I will edit some setting according to my liking. Then I will apply the same material to all other wheel also. Here is the render. I also mixed some dirt and grunge texture on glass and other parts of car. It's time to add some story to the scene by adding animals. I found some really cute bunnies. I placed one near the tree and rotated it to opposite to the camera. I placed 2 more up this small hill. Bunnies were too small. They were barely visible in the grass. I scaled them up a little bit and used weight paint to decrease the size of grass where the bunnies were sitting. I also decreased the size of overall vegetation by a little bit. Now you can see the scene has some story in it. It looks like that 2 bunnies are gone in search of food and this bunny near the tree is waiting for them to come back. These small things can have big impact in the scene. I added some depth of field in the scene, and then I imported an image of bison with transparent background. I converted it to a plane. Then I placed it near the car to get the scale right. After scaling, I placed it back here. I added 2 more images using same process. This is what it looks like after rendering. As you can see, this method is highly efficient to add animals because this bison image has only 4 vertices but looks very real in the scene. Then I 3D modeled a log because I wanted to create a fence in the back. After that, I placed it there and used array modifier to duplicate it multiple times. I also used a curve and a curve modifier to control the shape. I duplicated the same curve and applied a depth to it and duplicated it again. I 3D modeled this sharp thing and used array with curve modifier to add it on the wire. After that, I applied some simple materials and textures to the fencing. Then I used weight paint to completely remove vegetation from this area. The render looks really great now, in my opinion, but I wanted to do more. My mind was not working on what should I add next. So I asked ChatGPT. ChatGPT spat some nonsense thing that I did not really like, but I liked its suggestion of adding atmosphere and softening the light. So I softened the sunlight by increasing its angle and use a big cube in the scene with principled volume shader to add atmosphere. Then I added a glare node with bloom effect and added some lens distortion, using compositing. I added an image of flying birds in the background, added some camera movement with a little bit movement in the vegetation, and these were the results.